Comes. Hello everyone, hello chummers, this is Once Upon a Tabletop. Welcome, the gaming show where we get together and play a board game and roleplay the action at the table. My name is Bobby Frankenberger and I'm just one of your three hosts on this show. Here with me, also as usual, is my co-host Cliff. Below me down there, aka Mr. Johnson. Hello Cliff. Quick important question, Cliff. Do you prefer your zombies with or without the bottom jaw, and why?
Oh, without the bottom jaw, of course, because then they can't bite you properly. You
Right.
just get that top-down tooth-gnawing action, which really you're fine unless you're helpless.
But you do have to deal with like potential tongue and esophagus dangling gooey bits.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to get messy in the zombie apocalypse.
That's right. There's no
Gonna have to
place
deal with
for being finicky about cleanliness in the zombie apocalypse, is there? My
Except when it comes to the waste buildup within your colony. Another fire safety tip: you want to make sure to not allow your waste to build up too much. Fires can start and people get ornery.
That's true. Very good advice. I'm sure we will get more fire safety tips because of the character you're going to be playing tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. My other co-host, of course, the inescapably important Ozcore on the Shadowcasters Network. I just throw out adjectives, by the way, just so you know. Oz, tell us what game we're going to be playing tonight.
Tonight we're playing Dead of Winter, if you can't tell. So we're going to be playing the zombie survival, semi-co-op, possible traitor horror game with that narrative panache that we bring to Once Upon a Tabletop.
Yes, absolutely. We're the boys who bring all the panache to the yard. Is that how it goes? Something like that. Also with us, our other guest tonight. Well, actually, Oz, I've got a quick question for you before we do that. I am curious. You live in the fine, mild-tempered, weathered state of Florida. Where in the world did you get a big, heavy parka-y coat like that? Why do you have it?
I went to Tennessee a few years ago, and
it followed you home?
I needed it. It was the first time I actually saw snow. It was a couple of years ago.
Well, parka would be useful for something like that. Well, of course, we have a guest on every show, and with us tonight is our special guest, one of the minds behind the RPG Actual Play Podcast original box set, also hailing from America's Wang, is Cassie.
Hello.
Cassie, how are you doing? Do you have a parka? Have you been to Tennessee?
I have been to Tennessee, and I don't have a parka, but I have a bomber jacket. But today I am wearing my Cobra Commander giant sweatshirt.
Your Cobra Commander sweatshirt.
Because there's like wool lining inside of the bomber jacket, and I don't really want to melt while we're playing the game.
Yeah, as you can see, I've also dressed up. I've got a bandage over my face and a scarf and a jacket on. I don't know how long any of this is going to last. I'm going to be shedding things throughout the show, I'm sure, because it gets very hot in this room with the lights, and I'm in South Carolina, another mild-tempered state.
I have to say, I find it very amusing that you all think of Tennessee as like way up north. Because
Right. Yeah.
We're
think
from the
Tennessee is
South.
like part of the South.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
Maybe like the
anymore.
northern part of the South. But yeah, it's the South to us.
Yeah.
Cliff.
We've got a whole Illinois in between.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're,
much anything above Georgia is no longer the South to me. Well, actually, South Carolina, because that has South in the name, so that counts.
yeah.
I agree.
But then you've got to count South Dakota.
Nah,
Doesn't count.
nobody counts that.
Nobody counts South Dakota. Well, we've already got people cheering for us in the chat room. Plateau of Lang, thank you very much. Beta Cav, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Get to work, because in a minute I'm going to have either Oz or Cliff explain the stream boss and how it's going to impact the game tonight. So you'll want to get in on that action. But before that, of course, Oz, will you please, you said we're playing Dead of Winter, will you please explain to people briefly, how does this game work? We've already set it up and everything, we're ready to go, but people are going to want to know, what are we doing and how does it work?
So, Dead of Winter. The game has a... It is a game of action allowance, I guess is probably the best way to put it. We each have a certain number of actions. We all control a certain number of traders, or of... Sorry. We are all traders. No, we control a certain number of survivors, is what the word I was meant to say.
It's a split. Oz is the traitor.
Yeah, so as you can see there on our table, we each control right now 2 survivors, but then that's going to potentially go up or down as characters die or we find other survivors. And basically, we have a colony objective together as a team, and our goal is to accomplish that and that will end the game. However, we each also have our individual objective, which may or may not be betraying the colony and trying to get the colony to fail. Otherwise, we might have other objectives that aren't necessarily very pro-colony and make us look very suspicious, but we need to accomplish those objectives on the sly before the colony objective gets completed, in order for us to win the game individually. I think that's probably, I could go into like the full nitty gritty of the game, but it's a lot to keep track of. Enjoy the story, guys.
Yeah, we don't care as much about rules as we care about role playing. That's what we love to do, is role play the action at the table, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight, right?
Yeah.
So,
and we'll explain rules here and there as needed, but yeah.
Probably to each other, even.
Yeah.
The setting, in case you didn't gather.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the setting, in case you didn't gather from it, is a zombie apocalypse, and it's really freaking cold out, and for some reason the zombies haven't frozen. And we're trying to survive, but we're, it's very deadly. Anytime we do anything dangerous, there's a 1 in 12 chance of a character death.
And dangerous can be just walking outside.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, do we want to do like a quick introduction of each of our characters? Or...
Yes, I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to volunteer you to go first since you spoke up. Well, you know what? You just did a bunch of talking, and people want to hear Cassie more than they want to hear you. So I'm going to... She's our guest. It's nothing against Oz. It's just, she's our guest.
Yay!
So Cassie, why don't you do us a favor? Get us going. Get us in the mood for role-playing by introducing us to your starting 2 survivors and who they are, either in character or out of character, however you want to do it.
Yes. So my leader, I guess is what they're called, team leader or something, is Talia Jones, and she's a fortune teller. And she doesn't speak much. In fact, she only speaks when her clairvoyance powers kick in, and then she can only say 2 words at a time. And my other one is waitress Jenny Clark. She works the overnight shift at the Waffle House for about 7 years. She's been doing it for a long time. She knows everybody who comes in late at night, all the college students, all the truckers, everything, until one day there was no more college students and truckers coming through because there were zombies.
Well, that'll do it. Well, awesome. I can't wait to meet them in the game. Cliff, why don't you introduce us to Gabriel and Sparky?
Sure. My team leader is Gabriel Diaz. I am a firefighter, and just because the world ended and I'm no longer collecting a paycheck from the state doesn't mean that my job and responsibilities are over. There are people out there, and they need to be rescued and educated about how fire safety has changed in this new environment. And I've encountered this good buddy, Sparky, who is a stunt dog, very intelligent, friendly, and helpful, and together we are going to rescue the world.
Awesome. Sparky's a good dog. Oz, I'll let you go ahead now.
All right. So hello, I've got Sophie Robinson. She's a pilot. Her helicopter crash landed, so it is currently out of commission, and that's how she came across this colony of survivors. She's military. She was doing recon at the time, and then her something shot down her helicopter. Survivors that were interested in whatever goods were possibly on that helicopter shot it down, and she had to fight her way out. And the colony is really what took her in after that whole ordeal. But she has very keen eyes, and she's basically a scout for the colony. She can be a bit of a loose cannon since she's in the military, but her use sometimes outweighs her outbursts. And then I've got Ashley Ross, the construction worker. She's a handy, inventive lady, and she is in tight with Sophie for whatever reason. They seem to be getting along. There's kind of an impression that maybe Ashley is more about Sophie than Sophie's about Ashley, but Ashley doesn't see that. And Ashley in general just seems haunted after her brother was killed in front of her during the early days of the apocalypse.
Uh-oh. Sad face.
Yeah, that is very, very sad. Let me introduce you to what my friends, my survivors, and then we'll get started. I've got Thomas Hart. He's a soldier, and he was part of a military unit stationed at Fort Generic nearby when things went down. His unit was called into action to respond to a threat. There were some rumors of, zombies, but, that's all they really thought it was rumors, because zombies, what are you talking about? But when they got there, they realized the truth, and his commanding officer was definitely not prepared to handle a situation like this. You hear stories and read things and see things on TV, but being faced with it is a whole different thing altogether. So his whole unit got taken out, and Thomas Hart managed to get save a couple of people and bring him to safety. Primarily, one of which was Loretta Clay, who is my other survivor. She's a cook. She worked the day shift while her kids were in school, and she was, single mom just trying to make ends meet, and she has no idea what happened to her children, and she's just, she's obviously broken up about it.
Yikes.
Yeah, you guys tell me what are you hoping to see happen while I secretly scamper off and deal with a kid problem right now. I'll be right back.
I want to see this show turn out to be like a very condensed season of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just with a lot less walking around doing nothing.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that would make us very dull role players, as all we did was walk around with our characters and on a tabletop game.
But while Bobby's taking care of that, I guess this is a good time to talk about the stream boss. So we have, every time that you support the channel, some HP gets knocked off of our stream boss down there at the bottom. And when they hit 0, if you're the one who did the killing blow, you become the new stream boss. And as a thank you, you get to spin the Once Upon a Wheel. And the Once Upon a Wheel has all kinds of things on it that could help or hinder us. And you, based on the result that you get to make the choice of who gets the brunt of the hurting or the help. And hey, thanks to Sky of Screens for the bits.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, that's we have all kinds of things that you could do to us, like wound us, or heal us, add zombies, help with barricading places, add values to our dice, etc. So
yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. You'll find out exactly what it is that you're going to be doing once it gets rolled. I have dealt with the problem, And so let's get right into it. The first player is indicated by the first player token, this dagger right here. And I guess that's me, isn't it?
Yep.
So I
So
will.
before we begin, actually, we should talk about what our colony objective is. Like what
good
it is
call.
that we're trying to achieve.
So yeah, Oz, why don't you tell us? What are we trying to, as a colony, achieve today?
All right. So our objective is to stockpile for the winter and try and survive till spring, or rather, we want as much stuff as possible to be able to survive until spring. Our goal is we start with a colony that's been surrounded by zombies. So we are literally 18 zombies are outside of our colony. Our goal is to have 2 food tokens in the food supply for every non-exiled player. So right now that's 4 of us because we haven't exiled anyone yet. So we need to have 8 food in the food supply, but that food's going to go down every time that we have to feed the people in the colony. So we have to find lots and lots of food. And then we need to have 1 barricade at each colony entrance to keep our colony safe. And then we also have to have 2 medicine, 2 tools, and 2 fuel cards that we toss into this objective. And they cannot be starter cards. And so once we achieve all of those things, then the game ends.
Yeah, things are complicated in that we each have a secret objective we need to complete in order to win. So we may win as a whole, but individual players may not win if they don't also achieve their secret objective.
Yeah,
and their
in some
secret
cases,
objective might be to betray us all.
Yeah.
In some particularly creative way. You don't just get to screw us over and make us lose. You have to make us lose in a very specific way that puts you on top in some way. So
Yeah.
it's not just straight up wreck everyone. You have to be smart about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly.
And our secret objectives might not necessarily be to betray the colony, but they might be to withhold some of these items that we need to stockpile.
Yay!
So the very first thing we need to do before even the first player goes is we need to find out what the first crisis we have to deal with is.
Yes, we do.
So why
So
don't
the
you...
main objective is complicated by a crisis that we draw at the start of every round. And we either achieve it and don't have something bad happen, achieve it really well and have something good happen, or fail and have something really bad happen.
I'm gonna shuffle this because I think we might not have shuffled this. That was our example card for when we started.
Oh, right.
Okay. All right. You got? Oh,
Waste.
good.
You keep
Waste not.
Waste
We
not.
we need food equal to the number of non-exiled players. So we need 4 food contributed to the crisis. If we
Right.
fail this objective, we take all the food cards that were removed from the game and place them into the waste pile. We lose a morale. So that's interesting because we haven't removed anything from the game. So this actually won't affect us very badly. The only thing is we'll lose a morale.
Yeah,
Right.
it sucks to lose a morale right away, but it might be better to save the food.
That's an interesting thought, especially considering we do need lots of food.
Well, let's role play that out. you know?
Right. So already some of our survivors are thinking about ways to survive. So I guess I will go first. So the round summary goes like this. Since it's our first one, I will definitely make sure to explain this. First, it goes like this. You reveal the crisis, which we just did. Now everybody is going to roll their action dice.
Okay.
So you have these. Oh, my action dice are right here, and I will.
Trying to be able to access them.
Oh, that's really not good.
Mine was not great either.
I can't seem to like pick up my dice now.
No.
Are they locked for some reason? They're locked.
Oh my God! Why are my dice locked?
There you go. There you go.
All right, there we
Somebody, there's a traitor in our midst. Someone's trying to sabotage your dice.
Each one of these dice represents an action we can take, and a lot of actions require spending a die of a certain number or higher, so getting higher numbers is better. We can
Right.
still use the lower number dice for certain things, but Yeah, higher results gives you more flexibility.
Right, so on my turn right here, and we won't explain this in detail every turn, but it's good for you guys to know. On my turn right here, you see that each of our people have an attack and a search attribute. You have to spend a die to use an attack or search action, and it has to be at least the number on the die. So for this guy to search, for Thomas Hart to search, he has to have a 3+, so a 3 or higher. So I have only one of those, so that would be the one I would have to spend. For also example, Loretta Clay cannot search unless she has some other special thing that will increase the value of a die.
Yes, so we want to roll higher on the dice, right?
Yes, the higher the better. All right, so now the player turns go. Mine goes first. The first thing that I can do is there's a bunch of different things you can do, and I'm not going to go down each one individually. We'll just go. You'll see them as we play.
Cassie, you need to draw a crossroads card for...
Oh, shoot, I do. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to draw the card, and then I hold on to it, but I don't flip it.
You want to look at it.
Okay.
And if it affects Bobby,
Okay, I'm confused. Do I
right-click, draw.
draw?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just keep it in your hand,
yes.
read it, and
Thank you.
look at the condition. If the condition doesn't even apply, then you don't even have
Just
to worry.
forget about it.
Yeah.
That's probably the case, but you never know.
Right.
So, as she's reading that, Gabriel is going to approach Thomas and say, Thomas, I'm concerned about all these zombies outside. We need to get out and forage for food.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get out. But listen, it's planning, it's leadership, it's careful execution. These are the things that are gonna get us through this. All right. As a firefighter, I'm sure you're familiar with, with leadership and careful planning.
Of course, that can save a lot of lives, but I'm just concerned there's so many people out there that need our help.
Well, we're gonna do our best to find them, but I'm also concerned that our food supply is really, really low. Our general supply, logistics is important, so our general supplies are could use some work. So I think
Sparky and I are gonna need to go out and forage for some food. Maybe do you think you might be able to clear us a hole?
I can do my best. All right, Thomas Hart then decides that he's going to do that. He says, "Lock and load," and he decides he's going to try to clear a hole in one of these doors, door number 1 to be exact. Which, if you're metagaming, if you're playing smart, by the way, at the colony, it's always best to clear from 1 on, because the zombies will fill up starting with door number 1 every time.
Yeah.
So, Colony, 5+, once per round. This is his special ability. Once per round, you may kill 2 zombies at the colony. Do not roll for exposure. What's the 5+?
That means you need to spend a die with a 5+ or better to use that ability.
Right. So I don't have that right now, but I can attack 1 zombie. That's better than nothing. In fact, you get 2 actions, right?
You get as many actions as you have dice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So...
It's just every time you kill a zombie, you have to spend a die of the right number, and you have to roll the exposure die to see if you die.
Okay, that's right. All right, so Thomas Hart is gonna pull out his Beretta, some military pistol that I don't know enough about guns to pretend that I know about.
Wait, Thomas, try this. And I'm gonna pass you this card. If you spend it, since we're in the same location, we can do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you could spend that card, you put it in the waste pile, and then it lets you re-roll one of your dice. And
Oh,
I'm hoping you
nice.
can get a 5 or 6. It lets you
Nice.
kill zombies without risking exposure.
He says, "Thanks, Gabriel. I might be able to fashion something together real fast." And I'll put it in the waste pile, and I'll re-roll my 1. Huh! I got a 4.
Almost good enough. Oh well.
Hey, it's better than
It was
nothing.
worth a try.
Yeah. So let me ask a rules question. If I go to Thomas is gonna attack a zombie, but if I go to a location, I don't have to roll for exposure just because there's zombies there, do I?
You have
You
to
have
roll
to
for
roll for-
exposure every time you move between.
Yes,
any
but I don't
location.
have. There's no added detriment to moving through zombie
No.
doors, right?
Nope.
All right. Good.
Nope.
All right. So I'll
Maybe a
go.
back door or something.
I'll go ahead and roll the exposure die. I'm killing 1 zombie. Plink. Where did this zombie go? Right here. All right. And here's the exposure die, or we already have it on the table. Exposure die. Nothing. That's one down.
Good job.
I think Loretta. You know what? That'll be my number 2 die I spend. He'll kill another one. He'll take another one out. All right. Let's see if we do this again. Bam! Ah! Ooh, frostbite.
Ouch.
All right. How do I get a frostbite token? There we go. Do they flip over? Yeah, they flip. Okay. So Thomas had to go out into the wilderness a little too far and accidentally got frostbite.
Damn it.
So I got another one, Gabriel, but that was rough. Or maybe I should have taken it off of number 2. I think I will do that.
Yeah, please do.
I'll switch it over to here. All right.
Well, good work. Hang in there. Do you have any medicine? I'm afraid I do.
Yeah, I do. I do. No worries. So I'll use my medicine and get rid of that.
Yeah, frostbite wounds are especially bad because they'll do damage every turn.
Correct.
Including at the end of the turn that you took damage.
And then, so that'll be my number 3. Loretta Clay is actually hearing Thomas and Gabriel talk. Loretta Clay is going to come up to Gabriel and say, "So you're planning on leaving the colony?"
Yeah, I think we can do the best outside.
I'm coming with you. My kids, I don't know where they are, and maybe my best bet to find them is to get out there and start looking around.
Yeah, maybe that is, but don't you think maybe you could do the best here? Your wonder at scavenging and scrounging for food and making those extra cans that people don't think are edible into something we can all stomach or even enjoy. I mean that casserole you made using what was it, canned peaches and green beans and anchovies? I never thought those would go together in any way, but
Maybe
you should leave the dangerous work for me and Sparky and some of us who are trained for dangerous situations. I'll look for your kids.
Look, I can handle myself, but there is some wisdom to what you're saying. I'll stick around for just a little bit and maybe cook up some food, but I'm not staying here for long. I can't think straight being here and knowing my kids are out there.
Ashley Ross, the construction worker, pipes up and says, "Well, I could. Why don't I go ahead and jury rig some kind of stovetop for you? I could probably whip something up."
That sounds good. Here, I will. I'm going to use her ability is to with an action die of 4. Once per round, you can add 2 food tokens to the food supply. So I'm going to use that.
Ooh,
Nice.
excellent.
Did you just spend a food card as well?
Oh yeah, but you don't have to do that, do you? Ha! Well, I guess you know that I've got 2 food cards.
But you have to spend, so you spend that 4 die. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm putting 2 food in. 1, 2. There we go.
So, Jenny, that's her name. Yeah. Sorry. Jenny will also chime in saying if you guys need to find stuff, you can let me know what you're looking for and I can go ahead and, find it. I'm really good at that.
Oh, that's great, Jenny. I think, you used to work at that restaurant. Maybe, did you happen to know where people stash food supplies around town? I mean, I know a lot of the things like the grocery store has been picked over, but you might have a good way to find, where people might stash food that normal people just might not think of.
I mean, you
So
might
if
be
could
able
find
to
some
go
food.
to the school. I mean, there's cafeterias in there. They gotta have food left over. I mean, the stuff they serve at schools ain't, just all in cans anyway.
Loretta says, "Yeah,
Good
get to the school. If you're good at searching for things, see if you can find my kids." And she hands you a picture out of her pocket, a picture of her kids.
All right. If I see them, I'll bring them back.
All right. Whose turn is next? Because I think that's all I got in me.
We going clockwise, like according to the way
Clockwise.
the names are on the table, or
Yeah,
clockwise
that'll
the
be
way we're
that'll
set
be
up?
simpler.
As the cards, I think.
Yeah. So I think that would be
Okay.
Cliff. You'd be next.
Okay, so seeing that Thomas has blown a hole through the zombie wall, attacking, I think Gabriel is going to take action, knowing that okay, it's important that we have a plan, right? So one of you is going to the school to look for survivors and some food. I'm going to go look for survivors and maybe some weapons and tools that'll help us. So I think I'll hit up the police station.
Sounds like a plan.
Sparky, why don't you do what you do to clear up the perimeter a bit and maybe heading out. The two of us will head out so we can scrounge for our own food and see who we can help.
Sophie Robinson, who's been watching the interplay from the corner of a room, pipes up and says, "I'm actually quite interested in going to the police station myself. So I feel some weaponry is going to be called for.
Good.
So I'll be joining you. Just don't wait up, but just keep that in mind."
Okay, so I'm going to play a card here first. A fuel card. Put it in the waste pile.
Quick question,
Yes.
sorry. Was I supposed to discard this card now? That
Yes.
it's not Bobby's turn? Okay.
Oh wait, yes, Bobby has to draw a crossroad card for my turn.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
how
good
do I-
call. Good call. I always
How do I
forget about this.
undraw it?
Good question. Why don't we just put it like here? Put the discarded
Okay.
ones over here, down here,
Okay.
and then just call it
We'll
a day.
do that. Sounds good.
All right, I'll give Bobby a moment to read that while I plan. I'm planning on playing a fuel card as Gabriel Diaz goes and starts up one of the old trucks that have run out of fuel out in front of the colony, and I can drive that to the police station so I don't freeze to death or get bit on the way. Playing the fuel card adds to the waste pile and uses up the fuel, but it also has the added advantage of me not having to roll the exposure die to move from one place to another.
All right, I'm good. Go ahead.
So Gabriel's going to go to the police station and goes up as, hello, is anyone in there? I'm Gabriel Diaz, firefighter. I'm here to rescue you. I'm here to render assistance. And I'm going to call out to see if there's any survivors. It's a special ability. Once per turn, without even using a die, I can look at the top 4 cards of a deck of a location. And if one is a survivor rescue one, then I get to keep it and play it if I want. The other stuff gets shuffled back in. All right, calling out for a while reveals there are no survivors, or none that respond.
Jeez, man.
How do I put those cards back in the deck and shuffle them?
So
I kind
you'll.
of thought dropping them on the deck would work.
I
we
can
gotta
do. I
flip
can do it
them.
for you. You got to flip them
Yeah, but
over.
we should actually figure those out. Figure out how to do that too.
I got it.
Okay, you just have
So
to
we
put
just
them on
gotta put
face
him back
down.
face down. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then-
shuffle.
And then I'll shuffle. There, done.
Okay, Sparky is going to run on out and go ruff, ruff, arr, and bite one of the zombies. Ruff, ruff. And Sparky is injured. Arr!
Sparky the stunt dog.
But it's not a fatal injury,
Oh no.
as it is for the zombie. And then Sparky's going to come running back with the zombie bone and stick it in between one of the windows to make it a tough barrier. I don't know how else I'm going to explain the dog building a barricade.
He's a really good dog.
Stunt dog.
And then he runs on over to another area and kicks loose a lever that lowers a garage door, and puts up another barricade.
Huh.
Is
Sophie,
That's a really
Yes.
talented dog.
yeah, Sophie raises an eyebrow. She's like, well, I thought it was just going to be another mutt.
And then he is going to carry a torch with him and light it on fire, spinning a fuel card.
He must be part of the Airbud family. They can do anything.
And travel to the grocery store because he knows we need food. I'll use my last die as Sparky will search the grocery store.
They call them the buddies. I've seen like every Airbud kids movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
And I will not contribute to the crisis because I'm of the opinion we're just going to let this one happen.
And I don't know, I like morale.
I do too, but I also like food.
Well,
So
we're gonna
I
need
think-
more. I think we have like, just for speaking for a second. We still need at least one food per 2 survivors that stay in the colony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need one
Yeah.
more food so we don't starve.
Yeah, unless
And-
2 people leave.
That ends my turn. I'm going to draw a crossroads card for Oz's turn.
So Thomas is like, 2 of you need to get out of here.
Right.
Stop eating our
So
food.
All right, so Sophie, she going to the roof of the colony and seeing the zombie horde slowly thinning out, but not quite yet around the colony. She's gonna use her keen eyes to browse the police station, and her ability is that she can look at the top card of a location, and after she looked at it, she can put it back. So.
Is Sophie going to the police station?
She
No.
doesn't have to yet to use
Oh.
that ability.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit! How do you put this back?
You have to
You gotta put it.
F
Flip it
to
over.
flip it over and then drop it on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sophie, what do your elf eyes see?
I was just thinking that. Sophie, what do your elfish eyes see?
Is there a way to do it so that it's secret? Because I'm worried that it might some of our stuff.
Put it in your
like
hand.
our goals.
What you should
Uh-huh.
do is just be quick on the draw. Use the F key and flip it over real fast.
Okay, gotcha. So let's see. So seeing that, Ashley Ross. Once per round, she can perform a barricade without using an action die, so she's going to do so. Here. Whoop. Okay. Then we're gonna move. Sophie and Ashley are while Ashley is setting up the construction, Sophie approaches and says, I don't see anything useful yet at the police station, and just Gabriel looking around.
Hey, thanks for the sub, Avenzi.
Hey,
Oh.
thank you. And Ashley says, well, I still think you should find some weapons. You're pretty insightful. I think you might be able to search. Police station must have something. And Sophie's like, all right, well, I'll be safe. And she's going to spend a fuel to not roll exposure to get to the police station. Okay.
Oh, good to see you made it here. It looks clear. I don't think anyone's hiding right now, but I've only checked the front.
All right. Then I'll go look around the back. She's going to spend 1 search die. Bink. To search. So she gets that padlock she didn't care for. then what does
You
this even
could
do?
spend a noise
2 barricades at a location that's
to draw another thing.
Ooh. No,
Pick.
actually, this is fine. She looks around and actually no, she'll hold on to this padlock that she just drew, thinking maybe this might be useful later. Then she's gonna spend another action die to search again.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for the cheer.
And she'll
Lots of
search
zombies.
Oh, this guy.
final time. Okay. I'll play it.
Uh-oh.
She finds she sees a couple of shapes in the distance
Oh.
and says, "Who's there?" And so let's see who we draw.
I pulled your useless survivor.
Oh, you did?
Oh, so this is a big deal here. Oz is getting a
stop
new
someone here.
survivor.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I got Carla Thompson, the police dispatcher.
What?
nice.
Perfect spot.
Oh man, yeah.
At the police station. That is so serendipitous.
Right.
What a word.
Sophie says, "Oh." And she comes with one survivor, right? All right. So.
Yep.
Carla Thompson says, "Oh, well, oh, you know what? I'm gonna use the voice from
Before
Twin
you
Peaks.
do,
Oh.
bam, Chummer Jim just became the stream boss. So we gotta spin the wheel. Hold on, before you spin it, let me make it so people can see it. Let's see.
Oh.
All right, here we go. The Once Upon a Wheel. Spin that thing and see what Chummer Jim gets to bestow or force upon us. Are you spinning it, or you want me to?
Ooh, sorry, I didn't realize I was doing it.
You don't have to. I think I've got it right here.
You do it.
All right, I got it. Here we go. Spinning the wheel. All right, Chummer Jim, stream boss. Thank you, by the way. Here we go. What did we get? I don't see what it says.
Maybe you should take a
Mystery.
bandage off your eye.
Yeah, it didn't pop up on the screen like I expected it to. Hold on, I gotta look really close. My cord is. I'm sitting on the cord. It says.
This is the coolest part of the wheel spin.
Yeah.
Bobby trying to read the results.
What does it say?
Interpreting the results like, you know, he's
Something-
like he's telling a fortune.
It says actiony spinner. Immediate action. I was trying to read
Immediate
it backwards.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good job, Sky.
Okay, so Sky, you get to pick a person to give
No.
an immediate action to.
No, it's Chummer Jim, I believe, is who Skype screams can just actually read things when Bobby
Yeah.
can't.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna explain myself. Yes,
So
Chummer
who-
Jim. While we move on, you can while Oz is role playing here, you decide any of these actions. I will pop it up on the screen what the actions can be, so you can see it. Let me get rid of the spin wheel so you can see it. But any of these actions here, and any you can give anybody an immediate action. Any of these actions.
I'm thinking our waste pile is looking pretty big there. It might be handy to remove some garbage. By the way, those outsiders do not go in the waste pile. That card that you just put in.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, the
Card you
survivors that
played,
go in
the
the waste.
outsiders one? No, it says waste pile on the card when it goes in the waste pile.
Oh, didn't know that.
Well, there you go.
So it's only 5, but once that gets to 10, we start getting ornery back at home.
Yeah.
Losing morale.
Yeah. So while he's picking which of the 4 players gets an immediate free action, Carla Thompson says, "Oh, thank God you found us. We've been holed up in the police station for God knows how long."
Carla, I'm so glad to see you safe.
Oh, hi, Gabriel. I'm good. Glad to see you safe. You still have your yellow jacket on, just like me.
I do. People need to be able to see me in order to know that I'm there to rescue them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Finnegan, our cop, he lost his eyes in the middle of an attack, and he's unfortunately not doing so well. And you look over to Finnegan, and he's like this really tall, lanky dude, balding, in his cop outfit, and he's just like he has two bandages over his eyes, and he's wrapped up. So he's lost
Finnegan.
them, and yeah. A zombie scratched him real bad, but he's fine. It's been like 3 weeks. He hasn't turned.
Well, that's good. Finnegan, we'll take good care of you. Carla, why don't you take Finnegan back to her colony? I'll give you directions. Be safe there. Just look out for all the zombies surrounding the place.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to feel like I don't have to take care of 2 people now and join. There's power in numbers.
Yes, and we can certainly use your dispatching assistance to help us all.
And Sophie looks at Carla and says, "Yes, we can."
Sounded kind of. Why did you use that tone of voice there? It was a little mysterious.
I guess I'm a very mysterious lady.
Ah.
Why are you questioning
Good job
me?
finding Carla. Good job. Now, I put the tokens on top of the deck so you could find them easily. I think they go
gotcha.
right in the colony without having to roll anything special.
Yep.
Just good and bad news.
Yeah, because now we need more food. So luckily, Sophie had this on her.
As it stands as well, 3 people are going to die. If more people don't leave the colony. Can actually have Carla move somewhere else first right away. It doesn't take an action die, just so you know. It might be better to have fewer people there.
You're right.
Because if we have more than 3, then zombies are going to overrun and kill people.
Okay. So
the end of
Carla,
the turn,
after...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So Carla, wait, first I did put a food in the supply, so let's sends Carla back with a food. So there you go. And then Carla, after dropping off Finnegan, says, "You're gonna be just fine, okay?" And lies him in a cot in the colony, and says, "I'm gonna go and help everyone else look for more supplies back at the station." And she braves the frozen wastes. And let's see.
All right.
Oh, wait,
Well, Carla going in and out and kind of bringing a person has, by order of Chummer Jim, attracted a zombie. So to the colony. So. Or I guess he could pick to the police station if he wanted to.
No, sorry. The immediate action is he gets to pick a player that gets an immediate free action. Like they don't have to spend an action die.
Right. So one of the actions is attract a zombie.
But they don't have to. Oh.
He gets to pick who gets to take the action. He doesn't have to. He doesn't get to make us do something suicidal.
Oh. Well,
we're already doing enough suicidal stuff being here in the first place.
Well, then scratch that, reverse it, Chummer Jim. You need to pick somebody to take an action that they would like to take.
Oh, he's trying to get back at me for trying to get his character killed the last time we played.
Don't worry, guys. Everybody who's disappointed, there are plenty of bad things that you can make happen to us. So, all right, Cassie, you get an action right now, immediately.
And I don't have to pay dice for it or anything?
Nope.
Okay,
I guess
cool.
we assume you rolled a 6?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna move after talking with what is her name? Loretta, and getting a good feel for what her kids look like and how they act and stuff. Jenny Clark is gonna make her way quickly over to the school.
Oh, you're gonna get yourself over there already. Okay.
Yes.
It's not actually an action.
Oh, I don't know. Is that an action? Oh.
It's just an action that you can kind of do for free.
Oh, well, can I search then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can use my ability to pick up 3 cards. And yeah, so once per round, when performing a search with Ginny, you may look at 3 cards. So if I look at 3 cards now, when it comes to my turn, I don't get to look at 3 cards again, right?
No, once per round, when you are doing a search action, you get to draw 4 total cards and pick the one you want.
Right, so that I
Three
feel like that
additional.
would count because this is the full round.
Yep. Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna
Get
draw.
one super
but
search a
that's not it.
turn.
Oh, when performing a search, the search is the action. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna draw 4 cards. 2, 3. Okay, so I have this one.
You only get to keep one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will keep this one, and then I'm going to, let's see, I flip it back over, right? Flip. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Ah, God damn it.
I'll
I'm
help.
bad at that. Thank you.
No. I think
Oh
you
no,
put...
those were gas
No,
stations.
you're putting in a
Oh.
gas station.
All right.
Where, they go to the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do.
There you go.
There we go.
And then I think, do we shuffle them again?
I just shuffled.
Okay. Okay, so that's my immediate action. I wanted to make sure to get a good head start to help out my friend Loretta.
And it's your turn. I think you got like 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, your dice aren't on your thing.
Okay, so
Drawing a crossroads card for you.
thank you.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so now when I do my search again, I just pull up the 1 card
Mm-hmm.
at the school. Okay.
Yep. If you don't like what it is, you can make noise to draw additional cards to pick from. Those are chances more zombies will show up.
Oh no, I think this is a really good card, actually. I think that Loretta might be happy because I had a 2 outsiders card. Oh, I put it in the barricades. It's gone now, forever.
It's all right.
I got him.
So you would have had to spend a die to do that action too. So
Yes.
what we've been
I'm gonna-
doing is putting our dice on the unused action dice
Mhm.
section of our card, and then you move them over one at a time as you use them.
Well, I'm gonna put them here first, and then I'm going to move 1 over, and I suppose I can move over the little guy, like that.
You
And
need
then
a 3 or better to search with
Oh, right,
Jenny,
sorry.
I think.
this one. You're right. Thank you. And I want to. Oh, do I have to pick a person now?
If you're using it right away, yes.
Yeah.
You can hang on to it, but
Oh.
most people like to play them right away.
Okay.
You'll
Well,
get
I'm
more
gonna
actions
I'm
if
gonna
you have
play it
more
right
people.
away. So I'm gonna find someone right away, and I pick a person card.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Draw.
All right,
Kim is one
Cassie.
helpless survivor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have found Maria Lopez. She's a teacher
At the school.
at
How
the
thematically
school.
appropriate our dice,
Yeah.
our card draws rather.
Isn't that great?
This is pretty neat. Yeah, so she teaches,
Ooh la la, I'm
Math.
hot for teacher. I like it.
yeah, she's a math teacher. She's really hot and really smart.
A deadly combination.
I know. So I
Yes,
go
this-
into the classroom that Loretta says that her kids or one of her kids normally went to school in. And instead of finding a child, I find Maria Lopez and a child that may or may not be Loretta's kids. I think it is, but they look really dirty right now, so the helpless survivor might or may not be Loretta's child.
Here's to hoping.
Yes.
All right, so you put the Maria Lopez token and the other useless survivor in the colony.
Okay.
So that
then-
brings
Now
us
there's enough
to-
people where people will die if you don't get people out of there or kill zombies.
Okay.
You need
so
to kill. Just so you know, at the end of the round, there's going to be one zombie showing up at the colony for every regular player character,
Okay.
and one for every 2 helpless survivors.
Okay. So let's see. What can
Right now we're
Maria...
getting 5 zombies. If a zombie and the zombies show up in order of where the numbers are on the board, so a 1, 2, and 3, they'll just break a barricade. But then a 4th zombie will come right in and kill someone. A 5th zombie will come right in and kill someone. So right now we
Okay.
need to make 2 less zombies attack. So
Gotcha.
if you kill a zombie on 4 and kill a zombie on 5, we'll be okay. Or if you take 2 of our PCs out of the location, we'll be okay.
Okay. Well, I think that finding Maria, let's see what she does. You kill
And each
zombie
person,
at school.
each
Okay.
player character token can move from one location to another once per one of your turns.
Okay.
It doesn't take
so,
a dice, doesn't use anything else, but it's once per person.
Got it. So I'm actually going to have Maria Lopez be at the school with Ginny, so that she can help Ginny find foods and children's. And this time, do I roll the dice for her?
No,
You
she's
do
just
have-
there. Oh yeah,
You have to roll an
for her to
exposure
move
die.
out.
Okay. Ooh,
Yay!
She's safe.
I love to see that die come up blank.
She's safe.
and so let's see. So she's going to do that. I'm going to see if my if Talia can attack something. So the 3 plus is her attack thing.
Yeah,
So
that means you have to use a die that's a 3 or better to successfully kill a zombie.
Okay, so I will then use the 5 to try to kill the zombie. Oh, I need to move it over to the right space.
Yep, you succeed, but now let's see what the cost is to you. Roll the exposure die.
Okay.
clarification. Zombies, it's just 1 for every 2 survivors, including helpless survivors of the colony.
Oh, well, bonus, we
good.
cleared one.
Whew. So I can play food cards right now to add more food to the food supply.
Yep.
Does it matter how many I lay, or does it have to be one at a time?
As many as you want, but if
yeah.
we have 10 or more in our waste pile, we start losing morale.
Gotcha. And we have 6 right now?
Yep.
Okay, then I'm going to just do 1. And
keep in
put a
mind
food
that-
token in.
Survivor we just found.
Keep in mind
He's
that you
cosplaying
can
with-
spend any action die to clear the waste pile completely.
Okay.
Here's
I
my
don't know
son
how to move draw?
here to
Sure.
cosplay the extra mouth that we have to feed now back at the colony.
Yeah.
Say hi to the stream.
All right, there we go. So I got my food supply in there, and what was
He's a
that?
zombie!
Oh,
Zombie.
okay.
It's a zombie child with a teddy bear. Help!
And I'm gonna spend my last action to look at the crisis deck with Talia. Oops, shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Dang it. Okay, so I draw the 2 cards from the crisis thing. So I draw 2 cards. I'm drawing 2 cards. 1, 2.
Oh, yeah. Talia is a fortune teller.
Yeah, so her ability is she can manipulate the crisis deck to make things easier or harder on us.
And give us warnings or misdirections and misinformation about the upcoming.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll just pick. Okay, so now I put the one that I want to happen next on top. So I gotta figure out how to put these back in without you guys like seeing stuff.
So I think it's the one that you don't want goes on top first, and then the one that you do want goes on top after that.
Right.
Like in real life. Just press F real fast and flip it over.
Ah, thank you. That's how you meant it. Oh, F. There we go.
There you go. And then you can give us a 2-word clue as to what's coming.
Yeah.
Talia is giving us a 2-word clue.
So, Talia goes over and she slyly, like, just punches a zombie in the head because she's got really long nails and she just uses them as claws to like sever their spinal cord. She's a beast. And but as she does that, her eyes just like roll back into the back of her head, and you think maybe, oh my god, she just got bit by a zombie and we're all gonna die. But instead, when she opens her eyes and comes back to reality, she says, "Need fuel."
Ooh, need fuel. Talia, what does it mean?
And then she looks at you like she never said anything, and with a raised eyebrow, like, what do you mean? What do I mean? But I don't think she realizes that she said anything.
Only these visions were more specific. I would know what to do.
Shummer Jim said, clairvoyance, buy gold. I like that. All right. Is that all your actions, or you got some left?
That is all my actions, sir.
All right. So the next thing, so that's just the first round. The last thing that we do on the round is we have a colony phase. We're going to take the colony phase, and then we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And so let's do that. So after all the players go, basically the colony, you have to do cleanup and resolve stuff at the colony. So the first thing that you do is you pay food for the survivors we have. So that's, since we have 6 people there, we have to pay 6 food out of the food supply. I mean, 3 food. Sorry, 3 food out of the food supply.
Dear God.
We're all gonna die.
And this is important because if you don't have enough food, then your colonists suffer from starvation, which is really bad, makes your morale go down, bad things happen. So
yeah, we really need to stop feeding so many people. So like the more people we can get out and searching for stuff, the better. Because we need to stockpile for...
Leftover food stays in the food supply, which is important for us because one of our objectives that we have to accomplish is to have 8 food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we're down to
Unless
1.
we exile someone.
Right.
All right, so next thing we have to do is check waste. We have 7 waste, so we're good there as long as we don't have 10. Then number 3 is we resolve the crisis. So we fail the crisis because we didn't contribute anything to the crisis. And we calculated risk. We decided that because part of it was to put more food back in the waste pile or something that we'd thrown out.
Yeah.
There's no food that's been thrown out yet, so we're good.
Yeah. So morale, we lost a morale, so now we're at 5 morale.
Yep.
If morale hits 0, we lose.
Next, we add zombies to the various locations. We'll start with the colony, and the way you do this is, I believe it's for every 2 survivors in the colony, you add a zombie.
Correct.
So it'll be 3 zombies. Now this is great. We had people setting up barricades. Normally, you would add zombies to these entrance locations, but barricades act as a way to block them. Instead of adding a zombie, you remove the barricades so that we don't actually have to add zombies there. But we do have to add zombies at the other locations, and I believe at the other locations it's 1 per person, right?
Yep.
So lots of zombies are moving into the police station.
Uh-oh.
It's a big deal. If the zombies fill up, they overrun the entrance to a place and people start dying that are in that location.
So if he looks over to Gabriel and says, we need to leave. Carla...
I think you might be right.
Yeah, Carla knows this place inside and out. If she can search this on her own, she can search through it faster and get us whatever we need.
I
Finally,
agree. Let's split up and see where else we can find anyone else in need of help.
Sounds good.
all right, and finally we need to, or not finally, but we need to check the main objective. We haven't completed it, so then we move the round tracker, which will, I'll unlock that. We'll move the round tracker down to 4, right?
Oh, not the morale
5.
again. Leave the morale at 5.
Oh, that's the morale tracker.
Yeah, no. We're at 5 and 5.
All right,
Okay.
all right. So we have
Also,
This-
Oz and Cassie have more dice now.
yes.
Ah, yes.
So
Yeah.
the number of
Oops,
dice you have is
what did I
based
do?
on the number of survivors you have. Everybody has 1 plus the number of survivors in their party, and they added survivors, so they get an extra die. Finally, so we move the round tracker, and we pass the first player token. Does that pass to the left or the right? It's already been passed, so we're good to go.
Oh, do we pass it to the right instead of the left? Because I passed it to me, that'd be the left.
I think it's to the left.
Yeah, I think it's left. Let's just do that.
It's
Yeah, I think
probably,
Cliff gets it.
everything's always left, right? So we'll do that. All right, guys, we're going to take our first break for the... Okay, I went crazy there for a second, clicked a bunch of scenes that didn't make any sense. So we're gonna take a break for a second, just a quick 5-minute break, get ourselves refreshments and let everybody stretch their legs, and then we'll come back for the next round. I think the rounds are gonna move a little bit faster than everybody's seen how things work.
Yeah, I think so.
And and I think now that the first round is over, we can really still start like honing in on what our secret objectives are and our main objective, and we can just start figuring that out. Start casting the evil eye at each other to figure out if anybody's a traitor, stuff like that. So while we're gone, guys, Chummer Jim has already fulfilled his duty as the stream boss. It's time for someone else to rise to the challenge and become the stream boss. So get in there. We encourage. Some of these things on that wheel that you can spin are good things, so we would like maybe something good to happen to us. So, or
At the risk of something awful happening.
yeah, at the risk of something awful. There's some pretty bad ones in there too. Like I think last night while we were talking, I added in that just the stream boss just gets to pick whoever they want to just automatically roll an exposure die to see if they get wounded or dead.
Oh,
Good
So-
times.
That'll be fun. All right.
I hope
Well,
Chummer Jim doesn't get the stream boss back then, because he's gunning for me.
hey, but he could. So watch out. All right, guys. We'll be right back in 5 minutes.